Okay, here we're going to evaluate the correlation between height and arm span. To do that, we are just going to select our entire column with our height data. B, I'm going to hold Control and select my entire column with arm span data, column C. And I can go to Insert, Chart. For correlation, we want to view this as a scatter chart. So go down, select the correct scatter chart. I'd like to get rid of all these values down here that aren't helpful. So for that, under Customize, I'm going to set up my vertical axis to just show everything above 160, as I have no values below that. 160. A better visualization of my data. And while I'm here, I want to add the trend line. So also under Customize, I want to go to the Series tab. And just like we added an error bar here, we're going to add a trend line. That looks good. I can click this box to show our R squared value. That's going to be our coefficient of determination. And then finally, on this page, I'm going to want to display my R value and my R squared value. So my R value, if I want to place that in this box, I'm going to use Pearson's formula here. So I'm going to start typing equals Pearson, that's the one. I'm going to compare this range here, all my heights, comma, compared to this range, all my arm spans. Enter to complete that formula. So my R value here is 0.85. I'm going to move this down to fewer decimal places. So up here I can just arrow that down just to show 2 decimal places. My R squared value, now I can already see it on my graph, it's 0.727. But if I want to calculate that, all I really want to do is multiply my R value times my R value. So I'm going to write an equation here. Equals this value, because that's my R value. I'm going to enter an asterisk, that's for multiplication, times this value, and I can enter that equation, and I'm going to get 727. You can see that's the same as the one that automatically calculated for me. So I'm checking my work, that looks good. I'm going to arrow that down to 2 decimal places. So now on this tab, I've got my, here we go, graph titled Arm Span versus Height. I probably want to correct my units here. Make sure that I'm labeling my axes properly by adding the units. I'm happy with the way this looks. I'm happy with my trend line. I'm happy with the way my axes are labeled. And then I've used Pearson's formula to calculate